traditional, diehard Cleveland Browns faithful, a seismic shift is brewing in the AFC North, one that could redefine the Browns' trajectory toward a long-awaited Super Bowl. We're talking about a potential power realignment that might leave a divisional rival spiraling for years. And you're hearing it here first. But before we break this down, if you're a true member of the Dog Pound, show your loyalty by subscribing to the channel. Strengthen this growing community of believers. Share this with a fellow Browns warrior, and let's march toward our goal of 1,000 subscribers together. Now let's dive into the action. All right, Browns Nation, I hope you're fired up, because what's unfolding right now could shape the identity of this franchise for the next decade. The NFL offseason is always a whirlwind, but this time Cleveland finds itself squarely in the eye of the storm, particularly at the quarterback position. If you've been keeping tabs, you already know this isn't your average QB showdown. It's not a two-man battle, not even three. 4 quarterbacks are locked in a fierce contest for the starting role, and the tension in Berea is palpable. Let's start with the headline grabber, Shedeur Sanders, the electrifying rookie out of Colorado and son of the iconic coach Deion Sanders. From the moment he stepped into the Browns' offseason workouts, Shedeur has made his presence impossible to ignore. You might be thinking, isn't he just a rookie? Can he truly contend with the veterans? And that's exactly what makes this storyline so compelling. Despite slipping to the 5th round in April's draft, Shedeur isn't here to warm the bench. During OTAs, he's posted some eye-opening numbers, often outperforming the competition. His pain point accuracy and steady improvement have been nothing short of extraordinary. Of course, we must manage expectations. The NFL is a colossal leap from college, and the true test will come when the pads are on and real bullets fly in training camp. But his spring performance sends a clear message. He's not here just to learn, he's here to lead. If you've followed Shedeur's journey, you know adversity is his fuel. From Boulder to Berea, he's battled critics and silenced doubters at every turn. That relentless drive, that unshakable resilience is precisely what makes him such a valuable asset to the Browns or any NFL roster. But let's not forget the seasoned veterans in this race. Joe Flacco, at 40 years young, remains one of the league's elder statesmen. But don't be fooled. His calm under pressure, battle-tested playoff experience, and high football IQ make him an invaluable mentor. Under Kevin Stefanski's run-first philosophy, Flacco's leadership might be exactly what this offense needs to hit the ground running. Then there's Kenny Pickett, the former Steelers prodigy. While still unproven, he's flashed potential and is eager to prove he can anchor a franchise. The Browns are acutely aware of the challenge he presents, and they're not underestimating it. And let's talk about the sleeper, Dillon Gabriel, the 3rd-round pick from Oregon. His selection raised eyebrows, but Cleveland's front office clearly sees untapped potential. With a lightning-quick release, solid mobility, and a live arm, Gabriel might just be the dark horse who shocks everyone this preseason. As ESPN's Daniel Ossie noted, experience still counts. Veterans like Flacco and Pickett bring savvy and seasoning that could tip the scales. But the raw talent in this room is undeniable. Now imagine this, 4 quarterbacks, each driven by ambition, each carrying their own backstory, battling to be the face of the franchise. It's a rare and exhilarating scenario. Most teams are lucky to have a 2-man duel. Here we're witnessing a full-blown 4-ways war for QB1. That alone speaks volumes about the uncertainty and the potential this roster holds. Why does this matter so much? He's in the NFL. The quarterback isn't just another position, it's the heartbeat of the team. Cleveland has long yearned for that consistent leader, that elite presence under center. From the roller coaster of the Baker Mayfield era to the unpredictability of Deshaun Watson's situation, the Browns have been searching for stability. Shedeur Sanders may be the answer. His time under his father's guidance at Colorado has sculpted him into a composed, fearless competitor. Deion's influence, his emphasis on playmaking, leadership, and mental fortitude has clearly shaped Shedeur's DNA, and it shows. Throughout OTAs, Shedeur has exhibited command, poise, and precision. He's not just slinging spirals, he's diagnosing defenses, making smart reads, and inspiring teammates. He's playing chess, not checkers. And that's the kind of quarterback who changes everything. I know some of you might be wondering, but can a rookie truly start in Cleveland? Well, history tells us don't be so quick to doubt. The Browns have seen young quarterbacks rise before. Remember when Baker Mayfield stormed onto the field as a rookie, playing with an underdog's fire and a chip on his shoulder? Or how about Deshaun Watson? Despite his off-field controversy showing flashes of elite brilliance before his suspension, the lesson is clear. The NFL is a league where opportunity collides with preparation. And if Shedeur Sanders continues to dazzle in practice and dominate in training camp, he could very well earn the trust of Kevin Stefanski and his coaching staff faster than anyone expected. That's where the veteran presence of guys like Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett becomes invaluable. Their role isn't just about snaps on Sundays. It's about mentorship. It's about legacy. Flacco armed with a Super Bowl ring, icy composure under pressure, and a mind sharpened by playoff wars, could be the perfect bridge builder, helping Shedeur absorb the nuances of the NFL game and navigate its complexities. Pickett, still youthful yet hungry, knows he's in a race with a rookie who's igniting headlines and has the whole league whispering. And let's not forget Dillon Gabriel, Cleveland's third-round surprise from Oregon. He's the wild card, the unknown variable, a dual-threat playmaker who could shock everyone if given a sliver of opportunity. But zoom out for a moment. Look at the broader blueprint Cleveland's constructing. This offense is quietly being reshaped, and it's dangerous. In the backfield, Jerome Ford has proven he can shoulder the load when healthy. Now, with rookies like Quinshon Judkins and Dylan Sampson joining the ranks, Cleveland's ground game could become a battering ram. Through the air, weapons like newly acquired Jerry Jeudy and the ever-reliable David Njoku give this team serious firepower. So whoever wins this quarterback gauntlet isn't stepping into a rebuild, they're stepping into an arsenal. But let's talk about the pressure. Because Browns fans, you've endured heartbreak after heartbreak searching for a true franchise quarterback. It's been decades since Cleveland had a steady, reliable signal caller who could march the team deep into January. And every year, that hope flickers that maybe, just maybe, this is finally the season. Now, with this four-man duel unfolding, the stakes have never been higher. Whoever emerges victorious will set the course not just for this season, but for years to come. Now, let's address the man of the moment, Shedeur Sanders. From jersey sales to viral social media buzz, he's captured the imagination of the fan base. Shedeur Sanders is igniting the practice field on a daily basis. Yet somehow, there's still no curiosity about what he could unleash with the first-team offense? That defies all logic. And to make it even more baffling, teammates are going on podcasts and talking to reporters, flat out saying, this guy is the real deal. When your peers, veteran professionals, are vouching for you, how is it the coaching staff remains blind to the obvious? It always starts in the locker room. Whispers. Glances. Did you see that throw? Did you see him command that huddle? Eventually, it builds into undeniable momentum. That's how players earn their shot. And right now, Sanders isn't just earning it, he's demanding it. The Cleveland Browns are spiraling into full-blown panic after Shedeur Sanders casually stepped into first-team reps and made the rest of the quarterback room look like extras in a high school drama class. Coaches are visibly tense. Fans are melting down. And according to whispers inside the building, a clipboard may or may not have been launched across the room in sheer disbelief. Is Shedeur rewriting the depth chart like he's starring in Grand Theft Gridiron? Strap in. This storyline is juicier than a scripted season of Hard Knocks Cleveland chaos. A recent report revealed that Sanders has in fact taken 11-on-11 reps, just not during the media assess portions. On Wednesday, he got his turn in front of the cameras. Why does this matter? Because there's been a prevailing narrative that he's not being given a fair shake. And when you start to connect the dots, that narrative holds weight. So what happened? Sanders strolls into Browns practice, takes a few innocent-looking snaps with the starters, and suddenly the entire quarterback room looks like they've been hit with a subpoena. One moment of brilliance, and the vibe shifts. Coaches whisper, interns exchange side eyes, even the janitor paused mid-sweep like, wait, is this kid about to take over? And here's the kicker, this happens every year. One or two teams rise from the ashes. No one gives them a shot, and then they catch fire. Why can't that be Cleveland? They want to run the football, play elite defense, limit turnovers, and capitalize when the moment strikes. That's the formula. But let's be honest, this quarterback room wasn't overflown with elite options. Watson's still chasing the ghost of what he once was, while burning through cash like he's funding a SpaceX launch. Each Sunday feels like an episode of, will the real franchise QB please stand up? Spoiler, he doesn't. Dorian Thompson-Robinson? Electrifying potential, but still rawer than sashimi. Meanwhile, the team snuck in a fifth-round quarterback pick, claiming it wasn't planned, but hey, best player available, right? Enter Shedeur Sanders, not a legacy kid riding daddy's fame, not a TikTok quarterback, a baller who threw for over 3,200 yards behind an offensive line made of wet cardboard and false hope. He had defenders in his lap before the snap and still delivered dimes like he had Amazon Prime in his veins. The criticism? Laughable, overhyped, flashy, privileged. The tape says otherwise. This kid's calm in chaos. He's deliberate, sharp, unbothered by grown men trying to decapitate him in the pocket. He's not just surviving, he's dissecting defenses with surgeon-like precision. So the Browns took the flyer. Low risk, enormous upside. Give him a few reps. Just a taste. But then the offense shifts. Tempo spikes. Receivers are catching in stride. The defense? Dazed, confused. Possibly Googling who is this kid from the sidelines. And suddenly, it's a problem. This wasn't supposed to happen. Coaches begin saying things like, we're evaluating all options. Translation, we didn't expect this, and now we're rethinking everything. Deshaun's sulking on the sideline. Dorian's throwing picks like it's clearance week. The QB room feels like it's under siege. And then there's the noise. Critics latch on to off-field nonsense, merchandise lines, interviews, social media. They say he's already calling himself legendary. But here's the truth. Shedeur doesn't need to call himself that. His play is screaming it for him. And if this continues into scrimmages against the Eagles and Panthers, it's over. Gabriel's going to fold, Pickett will get exposed, Flacco's going to remind everyone it's 2025, not 2015, and Shedeur, he's going to shine. The coach will see it, the GM will see it, the locker room already sees it. Even the opposing sideline will start whispering, who is that? This isn't just hype. This isn't just a moment. This might be the beginning of a regime change in Cleveland. Dorian suddenly begins slinging warm-up passes with suspicious intensity. What was a calm, routine session turns competitive, then chaotic. DEFCON 1 in under 10 minutes. And the locker room? Oh, they feel it. You can't conceal momentum. When a rookie walks in and starts outperforming millionaires, the silence gets loud. Some veterans welcome the pressure. Iron sharpens iron. Others, they get tense. Because this isn't just a hot day in camp. This is the birth of a shift. Sanders isn't flashing brilliance once. He's stacking it over and over again. The footwork, crisp. The reads, lightning quick. The throws, not aggressive, violent, like each ball offended him and now has to be punished. Suddenly, these aren't just developmental reps anymore. Shedeur's presence is altering the tempo, raising the standard, and hijacking what was supposed to be a sleepy offseason into a full-blown quarterback melodrama. Shakespeare and cleats. Now zoom out. The Browns can't survive another quarterback implosion. This isn't 2014. The fan base is fatigued. The front office is walking on a tightrope. Wins are mandatory. Hope doesn't cut it anymore. And while your $230 million 0-cents enigma buffers like a 2009 YouTube clip, a fifth-round rookie is lighting up practice reps like a seasoned assassin. Kevin Stefanski can try to play it safe. He can pretend Shedeur doesn't belong in the conversation, but greatness has a gravitational pull. And right now, Sanders is rising. Sanders, and just for context, this kid has been slinging to third stringers, completing all but 12 of his 53 attempts and tossing 9 touchdowns. Dillon Gabriel, 8 touchdowns on 83 attempts. The math ain't lying. This is the modern NFL. Quarterbacks don't simmer anymore. They detonate. They step in, seize control, and rewrite the script. Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, CJ Stroud, even Brock Purdy. Mr. Irrelevant became Mr. Untouchable. Shedeur isn't politely asking for permission. He's moving like the locker already bears his nameplate. And now, Cleveland is trapped. They can't bench Watson in July. That's a PR atomic bomb. But they also can't ignore what's unfolding in Berea without appearing delusional or ego blind. Every pristine rep from Sanders plants a seed of doubt. Every misstep from Watson waters it, and soon enough, you've got a full-blown quarterback controversy growing in real time. Let's entertain the outcome. Scenario 1, Sanders stays quiet, keeps studying, waits his turn. Adorable, nostalgic, totally 2006. Scenario 2, he keeps dominating. Fans start noticing. The media catches wind. Watson stumbles to start the season, and suddenly every throw he makes carries a Sanders-shaped shadow. The crowd grows restless. Talk shows ignite. One standout preseason performance from Sanders, and the city flips. Let's not forget, Cleveland isn't a city of patience. It's a city of fire, passion, desperation, and if Sanders continues this upward trajectory, don't be shocked if another team comes knocking with a 5th-round offer before week 1 even kicks off. Earlier this week, Dillon Gabriel ran with the starters and went 11 for 11. So don't fall for the surface level narratives. Don't get distracted by meaningless depth chart noise or draft round assumptions. Watch the decisions. Follow the money. Listen carefully to the tone coming out of the building. Because when the inevitable quarterback injury hits, and in Cleveland it will, the question won't be, will Shedeur get a shot? It'll be, is the NFL ready when he does? And before we go further, hit that subscribe button, like the video, and sound off in the comments. Your support fuels these deep dives. Thank you. Now, let's talk about Deshaun Watson, because let's be honest, the front office already sees how that chapter ends. Whether it's the injury history, the inconsistency, or the constant off-field chaos that surrounded him since arriving in Cleveland, it's clear this storyline is closing before it ever truly got off the ground. That's the truth few are brave enough to say out loud. So what do you do when your quarterback room is full of question marks, maybes, and ticking clocks? You stop slapping on Band-Aids and start laying bricks. You pivot from desperation to development. And that's exactly what I believe the Browns are finally doing, building a true quarterback pipeline from the ground up. At the core of it, Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel. Let that sink in. Think about what that means. What better way to groom a young quarterback than in a system where he doesn't need to be a savior on day one? He doesn't have to win over the city in a single game. He doesn't have to be perfect from the jump. He gets time, he gets mentorship. He gets to study, observe, and gradually evolve. And when the injuries pile up or when the veterans run out of steam, he's ready, not rushed, ready. According to a report on SI.com, Shedeur Sanders is already showing signs of being the future QB1 in Cleveland. Not necessarily this season, but soon. Think 2025. And this isn't media hype. It's coming from those inside the facility. Coaches, analysts, insiders, people who know what an NFL quarterback is supposed to look like are seeing it with their own eyes. His arm talent, his command of the huddle, his poise under pressure. And then Tony Grossi said something that made my ears perk up. He mentioned that Kevin Stefanski and the Browns are returning to their bread and butter, pound the rock, utilize the tight ends, and lean on play-action passing. That, my friends, is a dream scenario for a young quarterback. A system tailor-made for Shedeur's strengths. He already has the arm to make those play-action throws. He just needs to speed up the reads and adjust to the NFL tempo. And for the die-hard primetime fans out there, the ones who believe in Deion's vision and Shedeur's grit, this is your moment, because finally, a franchise might be doing right by a young quarterback. They're not feeding him to the wolves. They're not lighting his career on fire out of impatience. They're letting it breathe. They're giving him the space to grow. Let's not forget, every time Cleveland has tried to fast-track a QB, it's blown up in spectacular fashion. Johnny Manziel, Johnny Kaiser, Brandon Whedon, and don't even get me started on the endless parade of quick-fix vets. Each time, the results have been the same. Chaos, disappointment, and another rebuild. But maybe, just maybe, they've learned. Maybe this time they're finally embracing patience. As for Shedeur's speeding tickets, that's just static. A distraction thrown out by people who don't have anything of substance to criticize. Grossi said it best, the team has already moved on. And let's be real. If a couple of traffic violations are your biggest red flag, then you don't really have a red flag. The Browns have kept players on this roster with far more serious issues. Now here's the part that really made me lean forward. Grossi hinted that if another team suffers a quarterback injury, the Browns may consider trading a veteran. But, and this is key, he didn't say Shedeur or Gabriel were on the block. He specifically said they'd prefer to move a vet. Translation, these rookies, they're not camp bodies, they're not throwaway picks, they're foundational pieces. Now, NFL.com reported that WR Deontay Johnson believes Kenny Pickett will win the starting job after camp. Makes sense, he played with Pickett in Pittsburgh, loyalty's natural. But the other vets, the ones without Sealer ties, I'm hearing something very different. Some of those guys are genuinely surprised by what Shedeur's showing. They're impressed by his poise, his intelligence, and his work ethic. Let's not forget, this is a guy who took on a total rebuild at Colorado and carried himself like a franchise quarterback. That kind of poise, confidence, and resilience doesn't vanish in the pros. It translates. Now, for the big question, if the Browns are still considering drafting a QB in the first round next year, what does that mean? Does it signal doubt in Sanders or Gabriel? Possibly, or it might signal competence. Think of the 49ers. Think of the Eagles. Smart teams stack QB talent. They build depth at the most important position in sports. To me, it's clear they're betting on Shedeur. He's under contract for 4 seasons. They've got time, and it seems they're finally understanding the most crucial truth in quarterback development. You don't rush it, you build it. So here's how I see it playing out. Tell me if you agree. Flacco starts the year. Maybe he wins a couple games. Eventually, Father Time catches up or he takes a hit. Enter Pickett. Short leash. Solid, but unspectacular. A bridge. A patch. They're gearing up to hit first and hit hard, and the timing couldn't be more pivotal. The team has just released its training camp reporting schedule, confirming what insiders have whispered for weeks. Rookies are due in Berea on July 18, followed by veterans on July 22. But these aren't just dates on a calendar. They mark the beginning of a cultural transformation. After limping to a 3-14 finish in 2024, Cleveland has completely revamped its health and performance operations. This isn't just about the X's and O's. It's about reprogramming the entire mindset. From preparation to conditioning, every detail is being redefined. And that transformation was already on full display during minicamp. The pace? Blistering. The intensity? Unmatched. This wasn't a no-contact walkthrough, this was a statement. A message to the locker room, to the rest of the league, and most importantly, to the dog pound. Cleveland is done playing defense. This team is building a new identity, one that throws the first punch. But underneath all this growing momentum is a brewing subplot that cannot be ignored. A storyline that's heating up just as the quarterback battle hits a boil. Enter Shedeur Sanders. The rookie whose draft journey was as turbulent as it was controversial. His swagger, composure, and raw ability have already made a massive impact not only inside the locker room, but across Cleveland. Even if he doesn't start week 1, his presence alone is galvanizing the team. He's infused this franchise with hope, and hope is exactly what Cleveland needs. Can Shedeur realistically outshine the veterans and seize that starting job? Absolutely. If he continues his ascent in camp, proving he can thrive under pressure and lead like a pro, the staff may have no choice but to hand him the reins. But let's be real, Flacco and Pickett are no pushovers. They've seen blitzes, they've faced hostile stadiums, they've led huddles under crushing expectations. They may be the safe choices to begin the year while Shedeur hones his craft behind the scenes. Looking forward, the Browns find themselves in a rare position. They're not just selecting a quarterback, they're choosing a leader for a team that's ready to contend now. The AFC North is a war zone. Baltimore, Cincinnati, and Pittsburgh are making moves. Cleveland needs to be precise, patient, strategic. The upside is enormous, and the coaching staff knows it. Kevin Stefanski, known for sculpting quarterbacks and orchestrating balanced attacks, holds the keys to this decision. His approach this summer will shape Cleveland's destiny in September, and possibly beyond. Because this isn't just about 2024. It's about constructing a foundation for the next era. If Shedeur Sanders matures into a true NFL-caliber starter, he could redefine this franchise's legacy. He could be the dynamic, consistent force the Browns have yearned for. And that changes everything. So to every Browns fan watching, this quarterback competition isn't just exciting, it's electric. It's a test of ambition, talent, poise, and leadership. You're witnessing it live, and the story is still being written. Shedeur's rise has been rapid and riveting, but the road ahead is still uphill. The veterans are poised and proven. The coaching staff, they've got a massive decision looming. No matter which way it goes, one thing is undeniable. Cleveland is on the verge of something historic. And this quarterback battle will be at the very heart of it. So buckle up, stay locked in, and get ready for a season that could shift the course of Browns history. Before we move forward, help us beat the algorithm. Hit that like button right now. It takes just a second, and it truly helps this content reach more Browns fans like you. Thanks for your support. Thank you guys. See you next video.